don't need that for a while. So, pop the lantern down. How are you one? How are you all? Yes, indeed. I'm not alone, as you can see. I'm just by the windows getting a little bit of natural light that was here. Helen's here as well. How are you, Helen, my love?
I'm fine.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm still coughing after 4 weeks. But
I know you've still got this chest infection.
I have, yeah. It's nothing sinister. It just belongs to me.
Don't you worry. It's not a problem. We'll get through. Now, Kuretake. You've not seen them around for a while. They've not been in mainstream for a few years now. You're loving these already. We're going to kick straight off though. We're going to start with the demonstration. We're also going to start with an embossed twin tips. Now the details are on the screen. You're getting 4 pens and each one is tipped either end. Go on then, Helen, I'll hand it over to you. What are we up to?
Wow, these are a fantastic set of 4 embossing pens because you actually get 8 tips on them, different ones on each of the 4 pens. So I made this just to really show you the difference between them. So one of the pens gives you this fantastic scroll. I don't think you can quite see on the screen, but it's got 2 lines. So every time you write, you get 2 lines instead of 1.
Oh yeah.
If I hold it about there, that's,
there we go.
There we go. Obviously I've used embossing powder so it's shiny, so it just pinged off the lights a little bit. So there's the scroll. Then we have the brush, and that is on the same pen. So one end is the brush, the other end is the scroll. Then we have the fine and the chisel, which give you a different style of writing there. This one is really great for adding just like little numbers or little letters or little words to your cards. Then we've got the calligraphy one down here. So we've got the wider calligraphy and the more narrow calligraphy. Then we've got the writer pen. The writer is like a bullet tip, and we have a large and a small. So you can see in that pack you get lots of different types of writing, lots of different fonts that you can create depending on which one you grab to add some detail. Now I use these all the time on lots of different surfaces. They even work really well on the wood. If you're using MDF shapes and pieces like that and you want to add some detail or some sparkle, you can add your embossing powder that way. We're going to just write with it just to show you how easy they are to use. They're a bit like your Versamarks, where it's a sticky wet ink that any embossing powder will stick to. Let's go for the brush. Now I happen to know that Adam's daughter is called Molly, so I think after nursery she will really love to have something with her name on. I'm not the best at calligraphy, but these pens are so easy to use. You'll still be able to create something really great. So let's use the brush here and let's do Molly.
So this is like your Versaclair, as it were, your Versamark, you know.
Versamark, yes.
Versamark.
So it's just sticky ink. You can kind of see it leaving a wet trail there, but it's when we add the embossing powder that really will come into its own. Let's add some silver.
We've got the embossing powders on the show as well. It's a pick and mix. You can pick any 4. There's 5 to choose from.
These are fabulous. They're really ultra fine, so they're going to pick up all the detail. Now the reason I use these pens a lot is if I haven't actually used an anti-static pad first, which was very silly, but I couldn't find it before I left today. Everything's in uproar, isn't it, at the moment?
Oh, it's in uproar.
Even my craft room. But when we heat this up, you'll be able to see the word Molly. I'm also doing it on watercolour card, which has a texture to it, but we just wanted to show you how well these pens work more than anything. Give it a good heat. We have got the heat guns on the show as well today, these lovely purple ones.
We have indeed.
Sweet
Shop ahead on the website. We've also got the inks on the show, the paints on the show as well. 36 colours is what we've got. There's so much on here. You may have seen Lou using some of these colours as well. As I've said, this is the first airing, in theory, in a few years. These have not been on mainstream television for a while. Okay, so there's not been on shopping telly for a while, so this could be your first opportunity to pick up your Kuretake pens, to pick up your colours that we've also got on the show, and these markers as well that we're looking at. Now it says 4-piece pen set. In fact, it is 4 pens, but they've double-ended. So your double-end pens that you've got here, there is so much. You've got your chisel in there, you've got your brush, you've got your fine tip in there as well. You've got your calligraphy also in there. You've also got your writer in there and your scroll. If I take the lid off that one, so there is the pen, and then I will still take the same one, but I'll just turn it around so it's exactly the same. There is that chisel. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. There you go, look. So that is your scroll tool that we're talking about there now as well. Absolutely beautiful is what they are, £9.99. They remind me, I said before we came on there, they remind me a bit like a quickie glue pen. But they're not a quickie glue pen. They're precise. They're not a quickie glue pen, but this is for your embossing. So all those little bits of emboss that you want to do, maybe a touch up a flower, maybe you want to emboss a small amount, and you can't get that big marker that's already in there. Look at this.
So there's Molly. In fact, let's just put the scroll on the other side with a little bit of gold, just to show you how the scroll works. The reason I love these is when I've made a batch of cards and I've got someone coming to visit and I think, oh my goodness, it's her birthday tomorrow and I've forgotten, I can just whip out an embossing pen, write the name on, or auntie, or the date, or something like that, 61, or however old they are, and it's just a very quick way of being able to personalise. So you can see with that scroll, it gives you two marks at the same time, a fatter one and a thinner one. Let's just put a little bit of gold on there, and then you really will be able to see it when it heats up. Let's pop that back in there, because I am a very messy crafter. And we'll just heat up that scroll. So it depends on what font you want, what look you want. These will work. Like I said, they also work on MDF and things like that. They're great for journaling. If you want to add just a little touch of sparkle to your finished product, you know, they'll work over the top of things, and then you can add your embossing powder, obviously when everything else is dry underneath, and then you can add that little touch of whichever embossing powder you've got. It will stick to it. There we go. You can see those two lines coming through, and I'll just hold that up for you now, just to show you how that looks. Pop that up for you there. So there we go, there's Molly.
Look, we're both holding up card.
Hey!
I feel like I've been in prison.
So you can see
look
there.
At that.
I mean, that's a lot of embossing there. That's why it took me so long to heat it up. But I'm sure that Molly will love it when she comes back from nursery.
I'm on the way to pick her up straight after this hour at 2 o'clock. But these are the pens that you're getting in here as well. So you're getting your fine in there, you're getting your chiselled in there, you're getting your 2 sizes of calligraphy as well. You're also getting your scroll in there, your brush, and you're also getting your writer as well. Everything that you see, you are getting. You've got the different tips in there as well. Double-ended is what we're talking as well, and all of this for £9.99 is what we're talking about for these. 199821 is your item number. Now, embossing powders, if you're going for the pens, you might want to go for the embossing powders as well. It's a pick and mix of any 4. You've got Crystal Clear, Glacier White, Midnight Black, Mirror Gold, and Silver Dollar is what we're talking about on this as well. Pick any 4 is what we're looking at on these. There's only 5 to choose from. The hardest one is what you're going to leave out of your basket on this now. £9.99, 844447 is a lot of 4s in that number. 844447 is your item number at £9.99. But let's get in to the real deal. The bits that you haven't seen for a while. You haven't seen these. Oh my word. 36 colour sets is what you're getting here for £56.99. I'm going to hand this straight over to Flexible Payments, £28.50, because there is so much info that we can cram in just on these watercolours alone. They're not just watercolours, are they? They're better than watercolours.
They're not just any watercolour, no.
Oh,
they really aren't. They are watercolours of the highest beauty, which is what gansai means. The Japanese people actually grade their beauty on their makeup and their aesthetics and their colours, and this is what has been graded as one of the highest. Although they are watercolours, they dry sometimes a bit like gouache, so they have a sheen to them. They will work on dark card as well as light card. They will give you such a high pigment that if you start off with just a small amount and add a lot of water, you can get from very dark to very light very easily. You also get the metallics in there as well.
Look at that. So that lid that you just saw with all the colours in, That's Helen's lid. So
it's rather messy.
Well, no, this one that you see, because your one will come blank, which is amazing to show you, and they go in the same colour order as the paints, as the watercolours that are there as well. So you just put a little swatch in. So you've got your reds in there, you've got your scarlets in there as well. So you literally just go down the list and put each colour, as you see them on the board, down like a little swatch. Because then when you've done, you know what they'll come out like. But these are so good that they don't just go on white, do they? These will go across the board, so across your mediums and across your colour papers as well.
Yes, they certainly will. There's not many watercolours you would dare to use on a piece of black card, but these will work on black as well as on white. I did a very quick example.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I actually used the embossing pens, and I literally drew some hearts across the top there. We'll try and do this if we can a bit later on, because I do love the rainbow.
It looks fun.
And I used exactly the same colours there, but I did it on the black. So you can see those colours. I could have gone back in and added a bit more, to be fair, but I haven't. But just to show you how you can see those colours, you can see it better, even more better in real life as well. But look at the vibrancy of those colours, the rainbows there. That's just, I think there's about 7 or 8, 9 colours there, 9 I think. And I literally just splodged a little bit at the top, and I just used a water sprayer and let it flow. So you can see how vibrant they are.
They are, and look at the amount of colours that you're getting. As I said, 36 colours in total. We're talking about a rich, intense colour. Professional pigment inks is what we're talking about here. Shows perfectly on dark card as well, in your dark paper. We've also got that on the show. We'll mention that when we go to demo later. And you are getting all these colours, 36 colours for £28.50 today across 2 flexible payments. That's £1.58 per colour is what we're looking at there. Absolutely amazing. You're getting so much value for money with these. They're going to last you an awful long time as well, because of those we keep referring to them as watercolours, but we said they're better than watercolours. But you can reactivate them as well. So when I say reactivate, are these the ones that you can create your own palette?
Yes.
Let them dry naturally.
And add some more water.
Add water and they'll reactivate.
Definitely. And although it's 36 colours, if you imagine mixing every one with each other,
yes,
how actually many colours you could get, because you could probably make 1,000 different colours from them. And also you can make them from the darkest of that colour all the way through to the lightest. You also get the black and the white in there, so you can make them as pastel as you like as well. And along the bottom you've also got a pearl, a silver and a gold.
Everything you need. Right then, the details on your screen now. I thought it was like the little packs. Now these, 891215 is your item number, £17.99. There's 3 different colour options you can choose from. The top row is starry, so these have got all your golds and these are your metallic colours that we're talking about. So these are your starry. Then ones in the middle are your gem. Okay, because they've got like your rich reds in there and sort of like your gemstone colours that we're talking. And then the ones on the bottom, I'm going to lean, just to get rid of that flare, is your pearl that you've got in there as well. Look at those for colours. £17.99. Now you pick which option you want. There's 3 options to choose from. Okay, so you got the gem colours, you got the pearl, or you got the starry. Starry's on the top. 891215 is your item number. £17.99. Right then, tell me everything you know.
Well, let me show you
these.
the difference between them.
Okay.
The top one is starry. This is starry. Starry works really, really well on black, as you can see.
My word.
It's got 5 different coloured, is it 5 or 6? Gone mad. Might be 6.
3, 4, 6.
6. 6 different coloured golds and silvers and white golds and bronzes and coppers, and you can see how that absolutely is gorgeous on black card. That people buy that one on its own just to use on its own because it is just so amazing. I will try and show you that just on a piece of black card a bit later on.
I was in awe. That was like, it looked, and everyone said it in the gallery as well. It's a bit like gold leaf.
Yes,
and like
it is.
You get your gold Sharpie pens and stuff like that. Other pens are available, but you've just gone in with those. You wouldn't think you'd get that from these rich pigment.
It's a watercolour. You just don't get things like that from a watercolour. Now this one is the gem colours. Obviously I've done it on gems just to show you. And gem colours is your metallic. So you've got metallic purple, green, blue, gold, red. Which one did I miss out? Green. Was it green?
Red, purple, gold, green, blue,
I did it in the wrong order. But you can see that those, again, work perfectly on black card and really show off. We're going to use those in a demo a little bit later on, so you'll be able to see those wet and see how beautiful those are. And then the final one is the pearl. Now this has been made with the pearl colours, and the pearl colours work best on white. This is watercolour card that I've used behind that sentiment there, and you can see those are pearly and pastel-y. They're lovely. They're very spring-like, the colours, and they're all totally different, these three sets.
But like you've done there though, just using them for a background. Spritz them down, rub them down, spritz them, use them, put your sensors on top, bosh, you're done. You've got an instant card straight away. But if you want the detail, if you want the finesse that they've got with them as well, because those rich pigments that you're talking at there, those rich pigments will really enhance some of your images as well. Maybe go for the large set, that's on flexible payments. Pop one of these in your baskets. This will also then be put onto flexible payments as well. Depending on your budget, it's entirely up to you. 891215 is your item number. Everything is on the website as well for you. Heat-resistant acetate. I've never seen this before, and I'm hoping we get to it this hour. £9.99 plus your premium quality smooth white card in there as well. We've also got stamps on the show, fairy stamps on the show as well is what we've got. Heat guns. If you've never crafted before, this is one of those shows. If you only want, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, the best of the best, as it were, the creme de la creme. You've not seen these on TV for nearly 2 years. They've not been on shopping telly for. We've bought them back as well. £56.99 those 36 colour sets, or you've got the pigments of 6 colour sets in there as well for £17.99, and you've also got your embossing pens as well. I know, embossing pens. Go for your pick and mix powders. You've got everything you need. Right then. I'll be about. You'll
be about.
I'll linger.
You just linger over there.
That's what I do.
The powders are a fantastic price.
They are.
I've never seen anything so cheap as that for embossed powders. Now, gansai tambi, I actually had the pleasure of seeing these made over in Japan, and they're unlike a watercolour even more so, because when they grind down the pigments to make these palettes, they grind them down, I think it's 3 or 4 times, which is way more than a normal watercolour, which gives you such a fine pigment within the paints, which is why you get such beautiful detail. Now the gold palette, let me just show you starry colours whilst we're talking about the actual pigments. These are used by calligraphers all over the world. Again, messy palette, don't put it back when it's wet, which is what causes your palette to get messy like mine. These are ground so fine that they use them in a dip pen. So they will literally add a bit of water, pop it on their dip pen, and then they will calligraphy with it. Kuretake works very closely with a calligrapher called Paul Antonio, based in London, who does all the calligraphy for the Queen. So if you have a birth, death or marriage, he's the guy that goes and writes in the Bible, in the cathedral. Fantastic calligrapher, and he swears by those gold pigments. So let's show you the actual palette. Mine is messy. Now I was offered a brand new palette to do this show, but why would I want to? I love my palette. It's well used, well loved, and I've had this one probably for about 4 years now, and you can see that I still have all my colours intact.
Oh, I would have said yes and kept it under the bed.
Oh no, I love my used one. I'm frightened to get a new one messy. Now I've stamped some flowers on some watercolour card. We have got it on today's show, and I've embossed it using that nice gold powder there, because it's great for when you're watercolouring, because you can stay within the lines a lot easier. With watercolours, you do need to kind of activate them, so I'm going to add a little bit of water, just squeezing it. Now these water brushes that we have on the show, they have a valve in them. They're not just like a paintbrush. The water doesn't drip out, it will not come out unless I actually squeeze it. Like so. I'm going to squeeze it now. They will discolour the tips slightly. I've got a bit of green left on mine, but that doesn't matter. The tips will colour because of the way that they're made. The pigments are so high that it will discolour your tips of your brushes, but it doesn't change them. It doesn't stop them from working absolutely brilliantly. So I've just added a little bit of water on there, probably a little bit too much. And we're going to go in, I think, with, let's start with this lovely pink colour.
Does a little go a long way?
A really long way.
Okay.
And although I've added water to my palette, this will dry off, then I'll put it back, the lid back on, and it will go back until I reactivate it again. So you don't need to worry. If you add a little bit too much water, you can always dip some towel in there and remove the water. You can't really go wrong with them. So because I've already added water, you can see that I haven't really got to do a lot. The paint is doing its own thing. And we're just going to add the light colour around those tips where the sun would catch those petals. It's a fabulous, a nice open flower to be doing this. There's lots of them available.
So we have got the water pens on the show as well, as Helen said. We've also, I got engrossed and into this flower that you were painting. We've also got the watercolour paper on the show as well. Bottom of the screen at the moment, £9.99. 604564 is your item number. Is this the paper that you were telling me about just before we come on there that's together as a pad? Yes,
these are artist quality watercolours papers, and they come as a pad. They're all stuck together, but don't let that worry you. It means that you can work on the top of the pad, should you so wish, and then when you've created and you've finished, because it's all stuck together so it doesn't warp.
Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
You really can create, and then when you've finished, you just take a blade down the side. You can see there's a little opening there. You take the blade down the side, and then you can make those papers become individual.
Oh yeah, there is. So, I don't know if you can see. If I show you this side, let me get rid of the black. I don't know, it might be easier on the black. Can you see a sheen on the side of the paper? So there's a glue all the way there, then the glue stops, then you've got the glue again. This is where you put your knife so you can tear off each sheet. On this side, it's glue all the way across. You can choose between the white or the black. It's entirely up to you. They both work in the same way. So there's the little gap. Oh, it's easier on the black. There's the gap, look, just there. I've lined them both up. So there's your gap that we're talking about. Pop your knife in, or a flat instrument that you can take the paper off and you can take them off. They're going nowhere. They look and feel like chipboard, like grey board.
They do. They feel like not even a canvas, you know, like a canvas board.
Yeah.
So you can really add loads of media to them, loads of water to them, and then once you've dried it, you can then take them apart. It's a great surface. You know, sometimes when you're working on stuff, it starts bowing halfway through, makes it much more difficult to work with. I've just added some water to this gold, and you really need to see the gold close up when I add it to this wet paint. And I'm going to add it just to, I'll wait till you're in focus, and I'm going to add it just to these tips, and it's going to just catch the light. If you're changing colours or you're frightened of contaminating your paints, just wipe it on a bit of tissue or kitchen roll. If you can get hold of it these days, just on those tips there. And that will, when you see it dry, it will make all of the difference. The gold is just beautiful.
Now, when you've done that gold, if you can just hold it to camera 3, Baker, if you could hold it to camera 3 for me.
I shall do. I've also got a dried one, which will make life a little bit easier as well. But
that's what we like.
Let's just, hopefully, without it dripping.
Oh yes,
you can see that those colours are all just merging in together. So if you just stay there, I'll grab the dry one, and you can see that's completely dry, obviously, and you've got all that embossing because it's resisted that because it is water-based. But you can see how those colours have all merged in together. How easy to colour. You don't have to be any type of professional painter at all to use these, although professional painters make a really good job with these paints because they are artist quality paints.
You do that very well. You hold that very well to the camera.
Thank you.
Don't do it too well though, otherwise they won't need me.
We'll always need you.
£17. £17.99. These are for the smaller colours that we're talking about now though. Now you've got the gem, we've got the pearl, and we've also got the starry as well, is what we're talking about. £17.99. I'm loving these. 891215 is your item number. We also have, sorry, excuse me, clearing my throat. I apologise. We also have the big 36 colour set as well, is what we've got. It's all this talking. I take too much air in. £28.50 across 2 flexible payments is what we're talking. Look at the colours that you are getting there, though. You're not getting colours that are the same. These are colours that will enhance each other. You're getting the golds in there. You're getting so many. The golds, you're getting the whites, your silvers, your bronzes in there as well. Remember, these are the paints as well, though, that also, maybe you want to maybe you want to take a smaller palette around with you, is what you're looking at. You can pop these into a palette, let the palette dry, and take the palette with you. Once that palette's dry, enhance it with the water. And once you've added water to it, it will reactivate the pigments that are in there. Talking about carrying water with you, the watercolours. Now, there's 4 pens in here. Now, they're not all the same. They're all different thicknesses. What I'm going to do is oh, sorry. I knew the minute I did that, I'd cut to that camera. It is a good job we're friends, Baker. It is. So I'm going to take all the ends off. I really should have done this before the hour, but they have a retractable valve, and who doesn't want that? So you have control over the water itself. So you've got a flat end, technical terms I'm using here. Then you've got like a bullet-tipped, sort of like a paintbrush, sort of like a little paintbrush that you've got there. A large brush. Then you've got like your two writers. Now that one's a lot stiffer and a lot bigger than the little one. So you could get a writer in here. They're ever so soft. Then you've got your larger ones in there as well. Now you were getting all 4 of these for £19.99. If you're going for your colours, you also need the correct tools as well to go with the job. It just makes your job easier than what you're doing. So if you are going for your paints, for example, I've only just picked up a random set of paints. So if you are going for your paints, then you see with the water that's already in there, you can go down, water it up, paint away, put it out, then you can go elsewhere. It's entirely up to you what you do. The water's not going to leak from these either. So if you're popping them in a bag, if you're popping them in your pocket and taking them with you, once you've clipped that lid on, you know that it's not going to leak. You're not going to have a little. Doesn't matter which way you put it in. If you're popping it into your bag, they're not going to go anywhere. They're good. They're good little enhancement tools to have. All colour coordinators as well. So if you have different ones, different horses for different courses, isn't it? You can put other implements in them. £19.99 for your brushes. Now we are busy for our emboss. But basically, your embossing pens is what we're talking about here. Let's go through them one by one. Is what we've got. So first of all, we've got the brush. So this is your brush end. I forget they're wet. I think they're brushes, but they're not. Then this is your scroll end. So you've got your brush and your scroll is the what? Sorry, Baker, is the top 2. The one's in gold. So it's got 2 lines on it, which is nice. There it is there. Up next, we're going to look at the writers is what we're going to look at now. So we've got your writers. So there they are there. I'm going to pop my end in. There's the smaller end. And there's your big end for you. So there's your big end and your small end. There you go, look. So they're your writers. Up next, we're going to look at your calligraphy pens. Calligraphy is what we're looking at next. So there's your calligraphy pens for you just there. So you've got your large and your small. If I turn it that way, it might help. Large and your small is what we're looking at. And then you've got your fine end chisel. Which is purple. Once again, all colour coordinated. So this is the fine end. Where are we? There we are. So that's fine. Pretty fine. And then your chisel. There you go, Meg, there's my chisel. If I turn it that way, you can see it. And that is everything. I think these are amazing. They are. They're like your... You know, the easiest way to describe them, if you've never used them before, you're probably ahead of me already, it's the way I learnt them, is, you know, when you're embossing, you have that large ink pad. You splodge it about, you can't get in all the corners, it's a big old rectangle, you have to put it on your stamp, then you miss a little bit. Maybe you want to do a bit of calligraphy. You can't do that with that big old pad. With this, because it's a pen, you can do your calligraphy, go straight on with your embossing powders. We've got them on the show, pick and mix, and you're good to go. Heat it up, bish, bash, bosh. Can't go wrong. £9.99 is what we'll look at as well. 199821 is your item number. Right then, up next, Helen's back in as well. Actinistas is what we're talking about.
We are.
Go on, tell me.
They're acrylic paint in a pen.
Oh.
Now these do come in different sizes, which we will bring to you, but these ones I wanted as soon as possible because they are a very fine tip. So if you're into your mixed media or anything wood, they go on every surface because they're acrylic paint. So I use them to add some detail here and there. The white is one of those pens that you just can't replicate. It's as white can be and will work perfectly onto any colour surface at all. So that would work on the glass bottle. It will work on your acetate, it will work over the top of other acrylic paints as well. But you can see how fine that detail is. So you shake it to wake it, it's got a little ball inside and it's a pump valve type pen, so you pump it down and the paint will start flowing. Because it's acrylic paint, you do need to keep putting the lids back on when you've finished, because otherwise it will dry, obviously, in the end of the pen, which you don't want.
No, you don't want. So does this mean, though, if you've got a glass mat, you could just draw a bit out on your glass mat?
Yeah, we could do that if you like, in a minute.
You could use your watercolour pens again, your water brushes, and pick the paint up? Yes,
you certainly could.
So in theory, you've got a travel painting kit, which is black, grey, a white and a gold.
And they dry with a bit of sheen as well. So if you were to draw a flower, you could use that instead of a stamp, and then you could use your watercolours to colour in as well.
You can use them on wood, you can use them on ceramic, you can use them on glass, you can use them on stones, you can use them on plastic. So I'm now thinking door numbers. So do them on a big stone, there's like a big pebble, and put it outside the front of the door if you wanted to. Pop it in your garden, put your Mod Podge, your garden protector over it as well, the green one over it, and then just protect it so it's weathered. Absolutely beautiful, £13.99, 660-834 is your item number, is what we're looking at. There is so much on our website. We've got other items you've found as well. A heat tool as well. We all need a heat tool. And it's one of these ones, which do I go for, what do I go for? With this one, simple and easy. You've got an on and you've got an off. There's only one mode on it, but you know what you're using. You can use it with paper, wood or fabric on this as well. It comes with a safety shield on there as well. It's got a built-in bracket for support. You can just see that at the bottom as well. It's also lightweight, which is beautiful. £18.50 is all you're looking at for this. 471853 is your item number, is what we're looking at. Right then, back to demonstration is where we are at the moment as well. So, what are we up to?
Well, I'm just going to finish off with these flowers to make it into an actual card. I've die cut a sentiment out of some watercolour card, and I'm just going to give it a quick spritz with water, and we're going to add some colour because I want it to match with the project that we've already started. So I will show you, we'll match all the flowers when I bring those in and show you. So I'm just going to add some colour. I'm leaning on a bit of tissue just so I don't have to clean up my mat. And we're just going to do a bit of a gradation there. This one is my favourite colour. Absolutely love this. It's like a real nice teal colour. And because I've wet it already, you can see that those colours are merging in together, and I don't even have to blend them, they're just doing the job on themselves. Again, I'm just cleaning my brush by giving it a quick squeeze so that the water's coming out, and then running it along the tissue there, just so I can change colours. If you do happen to contaminate one of your watercolours, just take a bit of a wet wipe or a bit of a tissue and give it a wipe, and it will come cleanly away. You don't have to worry, you really can't go wrong with them. Let's give it another spray. They're all going to merge into one, and I'll leave that to dry naturally and show you one that's actually finished, I think, at the end, because it just takes a little bit of drying. So I've already coloured my lovely bird here, and here's some of the flowers that I created earlier. So there's that purple one that's already dry. We use a bit of silicone. The good thing about this watercolour card is it's so thick that when you shape it into a flower and use a bit of silicone, it will stay there, and I really, really do love that. So we'll pop that at the top there. Now I used a bit of orange, well, yellow and red, and a bit of that gold there, and we'll pop that one on there. I also created this in black, so in a minute I'm going to bring you in the black version. I used exactly the same colours that I did on the white, just to show you how they work so well together. And we'll just pop a little bit on these lovely little leaves here. You've all got stamp sets out there that will work beautifully with watercolours. Just a nice open design. Yeah.
I was literally about to say, like, all the stamps. Now imagine all those stamps, all those dies that you've got at home. And maybe you've never tried watercolouring before, but if you get yourself a set of the watercolour brushes, and you get your sets, maybe the 36, the details are on the screen at the moment, £28 and 50 across 2 flexible payments, or If your budget won't go for the 36, why don't you try for the set of 6? There's 3 different colourways you want to go for there. Maybe you just go for the gems. Maybe if you don't want the golds and like, go for the gems. You got most of the colours in the gems as well. I'll just give you a quick. You've got the red, the pink, the yellows. You've got the greens, the blues, and you've got the violets as well. I just literally threw them across the studio. Is what I've done. But look at them on the black. Is that the same card?
Yes. So let me just move this wet one from underneath. So here's the 2 finished ones that are dry. Now I used exactly the same colours on both of these, and they look completely different, but they work so well on the black and on the white. You can see that purple there has gone into a real rich maroon colour, and the blues at the bottom have gone into like a real navy blue. But exactly the same colours, just a different colour cardstock. Obviously you're working on that black watercolour rather than the white. But you can see also, you can see the sheen. These look wet still, but they are dry, and you get that lovely sheen, which you don't get with normal watercolours. Absolutely amazing to use. So easy, as you saw with that flower. You do not need to be a professional painter to get really good results with these. And
I'm thinking as well, so you haven't got to learn a new technique. You've not got to learn how to create other techniques because it's black card. It was exactly, them cards were exactly the same.
Yep.
The same colours, painted in the same way, using everything was exactly the same, just change the cardstock that was underneath. And look how different they were. And you can be doing this as well when you get them home. So if you're sitting there now like I would be at home thinking, well, I've tried it once and watercolour wasn't for me. It didn't go right. Maybe you were using the wrong tools.
Yeah, and try not to use too many colours because they create their own colours when they merge. If it's wet already, it's going to merge for you, so you don't have to worry about doing it yourself. Obviously, if you don't like that look, you can go in with less water and more detail. But if you've wet it first and you add those colours on, pick a light and a dark to start with. Stick the light colour where the sun would catch those flowers or whatever you're painting, and add the darker colours underneath and just watch them join together and create that gradation and shading, and it does it all for you. So yeah, don't be frightened of the watercolours at all.
Would you say though, when you get them home, to create something like this first, just to have a little play?
Because it's so easy. I mean, I drew the hearts freehand. I used the embossing powder, heated it up, so it's clear embossing powder because you can see what's behind it, the white. I could have used a white embossing powder, it wouldn't have made any difference. And I literally just splodged the paint along the top and sprayed it, let it flow down, do its own thing, and even the tissue was so pretty that caught it at the bottom.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm going to stick that in my journal. But the vibrancy for a watercolour is phenomenal. And I didn't cake it on, I literally just painted a bit on, and you can see how gorgeous those are.
So give them a go. Give them a go is the best thing to do. Have a play. You really can't go wrong. At the end of the day, it's just a piece of card.
I just wanted to quickly show you, before we get on to, I've got a nice big demo for you, but I really wanted to just show you these, the gold ones. Again, excuse my palette. They're well loved, well adored.
That's the best way to be.
But I really need you to show close up the creaminess and the mica. It's quite hard to catch, I know, but we'll give it a go. And you can just see, there we go, that's a brilliant shot. It is just luxurious and fine. You can see why the calligraphers like it, because they only have to have a tiny amount of that on the end of their dip pen to be able to create something fantastic. I am not the best at calligraphy by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm just trying to show you how fabulous they are and how the shimmer on this gold is just second to none. You do get a gold in your main palette, but it's not as vibrant, as bright as these, so you do have the choice of having those five there.
Look at
Let
me
me
in gold.
just get that off my paintbrush.
I'll have
Yes,
that on my
you're
dressing
in
room when I get one.
gold. And that will dry with that shimmer as well. Trying to get it the right angle for you. You can see that shimmer. It's still a little bit wet and drippy, but how vibrant. And that will just work on any colour card, but particularly works really well on black.
Another one for my journal.
There we go.
my journal's building up quite nice, and I've not done a single thing to add into it.
We need to get you working.
It is. It's all the work that people gift me. Jump to the website. It's the quickest and the easiest place to go. Everything's on the website for you. You've got those amazing embossing pens that we've got on there as well. You've got your acrylic pens on there. We've got embossing powders. We've got stamps. We've got heat guns. Acetate. Oh, heat-proof acetate. Never seen it before. You wouldn't think you'd be able to heat-proof acetate, would you? Well, you're wrong. Red liner tape, a staple. And also your deal of the day as well that's on there. You've also got grey board. If you wanted to try your paints on grey board, there's a bit of grey board on the website as well. I think that must be a 7-day saver is what we're looking at that's on there. Have a do flick through though. Remember though, if you're going for that 36, sorry, if you're going for the 36 colours, they are on flexible payments, and anything else you pop into your flexible basket will also be split onto flexible payments as well. So it's worth having a little look. Right then, let's get straight back to demo.
Yes.
Because we haven't got that long left.
Blimey, it just goes so fast. I'm going to show you the gem colours just to show you how stunning they are.
Okay.
Then we're going to use that acetate because it is unusual. I've not seen it before. Well, I'm sure it's been around for a while, but I've never played with it.
I've never seen it.
Cracking stuff. And we're also going to use the gansai on some wood. We've all got wooden shapes out there, and it's really nice to be able to use something different.
Let's do it. You've got about 13 minutes.
No way. How quick does it go?
I know.
So, I'm using a large brush for this, one of my ones out my stash, because we're going to try and get this done really fast. Now, I'm using the black watercolour card off the show. I've got a little bit too much water on there. Let's get rid of some of that. Like I say, if you do add too much water, just get a little bit of your tissue, dunk it in there. It will just soak up that water and get rid of that. I like the palettes. They're so big and large.
What consistency are you looking for when you put your water in? Obviously, you don't want it to be a big runny mess.
Well, if it's too wet, you won't see the colours because you're just going to see more water than paint. If it's too thick, you will just won't be able to spread it. So you'll soon get to know when it's the right consistency. So I've used the green. I'm now going in with the red because I've had my brush sat in water. Obviously, there's a lot of water going on. So I've already pre-stamped. We've got some really great fairies on the show. I love fairies. There's something magical about them, and I've stamped them. I've used the clear embossing powder, so it's resisting the watercolour paint. Let's get this gold one going. This is that bright yellow gold. You do actually get this one in the gold set and in the gem. It's the only one that's duplicated, I believe, but it's such a useful colour. We use it with everything. So when we mix the yellow in with the red, it's going to mix and make us that nice orange colour, and then the yellow down into the green. You can see how easy they blend together.
Really do.
And we can go back in and wet it again. So if I add a little bit of plain water onto that red, because the red's now drying, I can pick it up again, look, and just pull it down. Because I've taken it off the pad, it is bowing a little bit. That's why they're so good on that pad.
So you would leave this on the pad?
Yeah, definitely. And then it wouldn't bow. But I just needed it cut to size, obviously.
But wouldn't it soak
for speed?
through?
No, because it's about, I think it's 300 GSM.
Oh.
Absolutely fabulous. So let's just mop that up. If I had my journal, I would be dipping and dunking that in there. We'll give this a quick blast, because when it's dry, you still see all that beautiful shimmer. I'm sure you can probably see it now. I'll just tilt it slightly. So you can see that shimmer, that mica that was within those paints.
Oh, look at that.
It's lovely, isn't it? But when it's dry, you can still see it all as well. Let's give it a quick blast off. If it does bow, just turn it, when it's dry, turn it over the other side and heat the other side, and you'll be able to get it back flat again.
While you're just heating that, I'm going to go flick through the stamps. The details are on the screen at the moment. You've got the fairy silhouette. Love it on this shelf. So these are mushroom. No, toadstool is probably that one. Well, no, that could be mushrooms with the little mushroom house. You've got mushrooms on there. There's not mushrooms. This would be beautiful, absolutely beautiful with those watercolours as well. There's your final two that you're looking at there. You've got Gnome Door and Toadstool Home. Oh yeah, there are. So they're £9.99. £9.99 for two of these is amazing, because you get an awful lot of stamps in here as well. which are beautiful. And they lend themselves to the colourways that we've got, so your silvers and your golds and your sort of your mysterious colours, especially the rubies that's there as well. Well worth picking these up if you can pop them in your basket, if your budget will do so. Pop them in as well. 2 flexible packs, well, £9.99. If you're going for the large colours, they'll also be on 2 flexibles as well.
I chose these stamps because these paints make such fantastic backgrounds. It's crying out for some fairies to stick on top.
No,
right.
it's true.
We're going to use the embossing pens on wood because they do work on those as well, absolutely marvellously. Let's get the brushed one out as well. I've already done a little bit of white on my mushroom. Let's grab the gold powder. And because you can add the detail where you want, you can see on my mushroom there, I've added the white on the spots. I'm going to add the red paint for the rest of it. But you really can add the detail and the touches that you can't do with so many other products. I mean, if you had your ink pad, there's no way that you would be able to get those little spots out there. You can see that it comes out blue. It will go clear. They make it blue so that you can see where you're going. Very useful.
No, I like that as well. But as you said, if you try and get a paint, you're going to get all over your fingers. If you try and stick it into a pad, you're going to contaminate your pad, as it were.
It's mostly the detail. I mean, I could have used a pad to perhaps do these because they're all one colour, but those mushrooms, no way would I be able to do that with a pad. So they are so, so useful to you. Let's use the brush one for these. I think that'll be easier.
And I like the way you're getting 8 different tips as well. So every tip is slightly different that's in there. So it will all enhance and help. I won't lean on that again. It will enhance and help to everything that you do. I forget that I'm in a TV studio and nothing's exactly secure.
Well, you're not used to standing so far back, are you?
I've never stood in this part
It
of the
is
set
very
by the window.
weird, as is life for everybody at the moment. It's very, very strange.
Can't even get any fresh air.
It is very, very strange for us.
Look, if we go up, oh, there is a bit of there's no roof. No roof to my house.
Probably should have bought some tweezers. Never mind. Didn't think it all through. We do try and prepare as best we can.
You're doing well.
There's my little knob there. I'm going to just move that because I know, again, I am so messy, I will knock it over. Let's give this a blast. If I use my pokey tool, I can just hold them in case they decide to blow away.
There's any problem back here, I can't see.
Aww.
I have to watch all the screens, so I'm technically watching what you're watching. I know I like to sit up in real life, so.
So there we've got lovely little hinges. We've got our little window to our house. I'll show you it all when it's all stuck together in a second. But these embossing pens are just, I just don't know how I lived without them. I've used them for many, many years. They last a really long time.
Our director's on he's on fine fettle, as it were, today. He was just saying, though, if you wanted to do all around the edges, you would never be able to get in with your stamping pad, like your pad. With a pen, you could go in and you could go all around, like in the crescent of the heart, and you can go to town. Yeah,
you really can, and it's you just can't do it with any other product.
No.
And it's for personalisation reasons I like it as well. You know, if I wanted to put a little number on this door that I'm doing, I could do. I've lost one of my little... There we go. Told you it would fly off. I lost a hinge. Not the first time, actually, I've lost my hinge. Yeah, you couldn't do this with any other thing. If you could add 6 or 7 different colours to it, because you could use your pen, put some powder on, heat it up, and then go back in and add some more colours. Now, I started off with this little wooden door. We do have some the stamps on this show.
Yes, we do.
So if you haven't got a door, an MDF door, you certainly can use that. But I just wanted to show how well the paints work on wood as well, on this chipboard, MDF. Let's just grab this. I think we need some red toadstools.
If you want the door, they're in the set of stamps, and it's the gnome door you're looking at. You've got a little sign that says "Gnome, Sweet Gnome," and you have a sort of a rocked door. So it's like an archway of stones with a wooden door underneath.
So as with any watercolouring, add loads of colour to one side, and then let's just wipe it off on a bit of tissue. And then I'm just going to use the water that's in the brush just to drag it across, and that'll give me that shading. So I've got the dark going into the light there, as if the sun's catching on that right-hand side. The paints make it really, really easy to do. So there's another little mushroom there. Let's just do this step. I'm going to use just a bit of a wider brush. The advantage of having all 4 of these brushes in the set is it doesn't matter what you want to do, you've got one fit for purpose. So you get the black, and obviously the black, you can dilute that right down to the grey. We're going to use the pearl over the top to really give it a sheen. It's amazing that watercolours like this will work on the MDF. It's
you wouldn't think
very
it, though.
Unusual.
Look at the richness of the black that you're getting there. And as I said, it is on MDF, which MDF is normally quite porous. So
again, I'm just going to take the black off my brush, and I'm just going to use the water just to smooch it around. You can see why you use so little as well, because it goes such a long way with that pigment there. And now I'm going to wet the pearl colour, this one here that you get in the set. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous addition to the paints. Still got a bit of black on my brush there, but not to worry. Because when you mix the pearl with any of these colours, you can get a pearl blue, pearl red, pearl orange, whatever your heart desires. And you can see by adding the pearl over the black, it really does give a great effect, even more so when you see it dry in a second. But add it while it's wet, it'll do all its work for you. You don't have to worry about trying to blend it in. And we'll just give that a quick blast off.
While you blast, I will show you your 6 sets of colours that we've got here as well. There's 3 sets of what we've already got. I can't tip them too much, they all fall out. This is your starry that we're about to look at now. So that's starry. Look at the shine that you've got on there as well. So that's your starry. Up next, you've got the pearl. Oops, sorry, me. So you've got pale pink, you've got pearl pink, pearl scarlet rose, pearl lemon yellow, pearl Mary green. Oh, sounds like a little name. Who did you go to school with? Pearl Mary green. I love that name. Pearl cobalt blue and white gold is the one on the end. And I nearly dropped it again then. Then last but no means least, you have your gem colours. You have gem red, gem pink, gem gold, gem green, gem green, gem blue, and your gem violet on the back as well. Absolutely beautiful colours is what they are. £17.99 is what we're looking at as well. 891215 is your item number for your gem colours. They're a set of 6 and they're really vibrant. They're all the same as the larger set, but they're just condensed down colours, as it were.
So I've stuck all my bits on. You can see a bit of PVA, but you know that's going to go clear and we're not going to see that. You can see that pearl on that black there. The shimmer on it is absolutely beautiful. So that's going to pop onto our background that we've already created. But I thought it'd be really fun to use the acetate over the top. I am going to put this in a frame so that I can give it to someone as a gift. But this acetate will work beautifully over the frame. I've never seen heat-proof acetate before. I'm sure it's been around for a while. It's just that I haven't seen it. I'm going to pop this on white just so we can see where we're going. And let's grab one of these stamps and we'll stamp. I'm using VersaFine Clair. You can use your stays on. I don't like stays on, I have to admit. It's quite hard to clean off your stamps and stuff. But VersaFine Clair does wash off quite well, and because we're going to be embossing it anyway, we can use something that's not stays on. Basically, we can use any ink that will stick to the acetate because we're going to be putting the powder over the top. Stamp, that would be useful. Let's use
the details on the screen for your resistant acetate, and you're getting premium smooth white card there as well. For 10 sheets of that and 10 sheets of your acetate, £9.99. 054635 is your item number.
So obviously you're stamping on a shiny surface, you're going to slide. So try and put both hands down and then just hold it as best you can. It will slip just slightly. But there we go, it's a fabulous image. Let's add a little bit of clear powder. And then we can heat this, which is just weird. You shouldn't be able to heat this, but you can. Let's get it nice and hot before we start. Although it's not buckled at all for me while I've made the other images. And it just takes, let's just wipe that off there, so we don't get any bogey rogue powder. Although you won't notice it, it will just look like raindrops. And we'll give it a blast. You can see it's heating nicely.
Oh, look at that.
There we go. It does go warm and it actually makes it quite flexible while it's warm, but it goes back to being flat again. Normal acetate would just buckle like a bag of crisps.
It'd be like shrink plastic. You know, when it all buckles before it goes flat again, it'd be a bit like that.
So I'm not going to stick this together now because obviously everything needs sticking down and gluing and drying properly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my acetate to the back of that one so that it's bowed out at the front there. And you can see that my fairy's in the foreground. I've got some plants going on here. You can see all the stuff through it, so you can see all that background again. And then I'm going to pop it in a little box frame because this is just far too nice to be a card. This needs to go on a wall somewhere. And you can imagine when that is in a box frame, that's going to look
at that.
really, really nice. I'll just move that because it's easier for you to see. But that's going to make a really, really nice gift. So that's the gansai tambi working on all these different backgrounds. And there's the acetate as well. But for me, those gem colours, they are just stunning. They really are.
They really, really are absolutely beautiful. You can do so much when you get these home as well. The possibilities are endless. Something you're really loving though are the pens. The embossing pens that we've brought to you. You are getting 4 pens in total. Now they're double-edged is what they are, so both end is different. I can show you this for the sheer fact. Here they are, just here. So you're getting so much. So you've got a scroll in there. So you've got a scroll pen, a brush pen. You've got a writer, which is double-ended, large and small. You've got your fine. You've got your chiselled in there as well. And you've also got your calligraphy pen in there. Everything you need double-sided, so you're getting 4 pens is what you're getting, but double-ended, which are amazing. So to have, rather than taking your large embossing pen in block now, you're Claire stamping it around. The detail that you can get with these are phenomenal. They'll work on all your surfaces, from your glass to your MDF to your papers to your cardstocks. Anything that you want to emboss, you can now emboss with these pens. It's one of those that I've never seen them before as a pen. So now think of the letters, the words that you can't normally get. £9.99. You can do so much with them. 199821 is your item number. There are 4. One is currently under my foot, so it doesn't roll away because I don't want to lose it. Karen's back. You're back at 4.
Yes, I am, yeah.
Are you sure?
I am, yes.
She's back at 4. Helen's back at 4 o'clock this afternoon as well. If you've got any, well, without Catherine, if you've got any questions, please do email them in studio@hochanda.com. Whatever you do, enjoy it. Enjoy the products that you're in as well. Thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it from back here.
Yes.
I've had a way of a time.
It's a bit weird, but you know what? Love it.
We'll get through it. Right, off I go into the dark, dark night. I'll see you all later.